Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone to Steve Tees Off, brought to you by riversidegolf.ca. Ken Poirier and his team down at Riverside Golf. This podcast would not be possible without Ken and his crew. So once again, riversidegolf.ca. Today we are blessed with the father-son dynamic here. First time in the studio, and we get to talk to a father and a son, Luke McKenzie and Maxim McKenzie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for the great introduction. Yeah, we're pumped to be here with you, Steve.
Well, that's fantastic, Luke. We're going to start off with you. You're a club pro out at Ledgeview. Is that correct?
Currently, yes, sir.
Currently, let's talk a little bit about your background and where you're from and how you ended up in the game of golf, associated with the game of golf.
Okay, this is where you throw the Grateful Dead in there, right? The long, strange Sherpitz bean.
Okay.
My dad introduced me to the game at 6. He's also a PGA club professional. He was a head professional, so I was pretty much born into the game, to be honest. My dad was a club professional in Ontario.
Okay.
Is where I grew up, in Newmarket, Ontario. Westview Golf Club is where I was first introduced to the game. That's where my dad was the club pro at the time. That's where I grew up playing junior golf, 27-hole, semi-private, course. Tons of fun. Still have friends there from my playing junior there. Tons of great memories and stories, but that's where it started for me. I basically started working too, seeing his dad was the pro at 10 years old, right? I'm picking the range, cleaning members clubs, learning the back shop gig. And then he went to Scarborough Golf and Country Club, where I started to caddy at 12 years old on the weekends down at Scarborough Golf Club. Grew up playing junior golf in Ontario. Just always loved the game. Hockey in the winter, golf in the summer. That's the same story. Dropped off at the golf course in the summertime by mom at 6 a.m., picked up at 6 p.m. by mom, right, coming from work or whatnot. Yeah. Then when I graduated high school at 17, I joined the PGA of Ontario. So
Right away.
Yeah. So I was following right behind Dad's footsteps, right?
Okay.
Right out of high school. So I was the youngest PGA of Canada professional at the time at 17 years old to be in the association. Started to apprentice under Dad, couple years of that. Loved to play, but still I was kind of young, so I didn't really know if that was the fit for me, right? The business of golf. I like to play golf, sure.
Yep.
Right? So I wasn't, too keen on the shirt folding and that type of stuff. So yeah, a couple of years of that, I ended up moving out west here to BC and just kind of trying to figure life out, right? Hung out in Whistler a bunch, right? Snowboarding, mountain biking, hiking, doing the hippie thing, really, to be honest. And then, I met up with my wife, who's also from the same hometown as me, Newmarket. I met up with her out here in BC with some mutual friends we had. And, she signed me up for the PGM program at Camosun College. So the very first year they offered the PGM program at Camosun College on the island, I came home one day and she said, you're going to college, right?
Go to college.
No more of what we're doing, right? We got to figure this there. And you love golf. This is what you do. This is what you know. So I went to college, which is super cool, right? She's the biggest support ever. Like it's unreal. The stories could go on and on. She's the glue, right? So, from that point, I graduated there. I made my way down to Palm Desert to work on my game in the winter months. I went to Q school, Canadian Tour School, 5 times. I traveled for 2 years in a van and a tent with the dog Piper, right? And kind of chasing the Mondays and that type of thing. Then it kind of came a time where, I was at Horseshoe Resort actually. So I left the desert. Okay. I had enough of the desert. I still love to play, 5 times a Q school. Maybe I better get the club pro thing going and continue to learn how to manage the club and to be a great leader and those things. So I was at Horseshoe Resort for 3 years, which is a 36-hole resort style course with skiing and tubing in the winter time. From there, I was handpicked to go to Cobble Beach Golf Links, which is in Owen Sound. It's on Georgian Bay. It's a spectacular piece of property. I was handpicked to go there to open this new golf course up. So again, the wife, yeah, let's go, right? You're always chasing the money, chasing the career. So we ended up there. And as you know, being a golf pro in Ontario, right, there's winter months.
Yeah.
I had to learn another trade. So I'm also a carpenter. A lot of my buddies, hey, I'll put you to work. So I learned carpentry. So funny story, I get to Cobble Beach, it's winter, and it's a snow belt, right? It's on Georgian Bay, man.
Yeah.
I hook up with the local framer in town. Hey, can you put me to work? I'm the new pro down at the club here, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we start framing. Next thing you know, we're at Cobble Beach framing the lighthouse, which if you go on and online to Cobble Beach Golf Links, you'll see that their logo is a beautiful lighthouse, and it sits right behind the 17th green, which is their signature hole. So I was on the crew, right, -30, the wind's blowing, and we're building this amazing lighthouse, which is the logo. Like it was pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So then we're still in Ontario. From that point, again, winter comes. Buddy calls me. I go to Alberta to go work up north. You can make some good money up here. All right, let's go. So I leave again, right? Lori, that my wife, she's taking care of everybody, the kids, like running the household. I head out to Alberta, work in the patch, right, for 3 months, come back, made some pretty good money. Next thing you know, buddy offers me a full-time job with the construction company in Alberta. So I'm doing some math. Yeah, that's probably a good move, seeing as, you're the momager. I'm the only income, right?
Yeah.
So I can go make some good money out here. Let's go to Alberta. Oh, okay. So we go to Alberta, Spruce Grove, Alberta, right? Pretty wild. Worked in the construction gig there, right? I was out of town quite often, 30, 40, 50 days at a time. Working up north, Lac La Biche, Fort McMurray, Slave Lake, that gig. I finally got a couple of jobs that I knew that were going to be in town with the company. So I went and started teaching at a driving range because, that was always the end goal.
Golf.
Right. But, I had to make sure everything else was taken care of in the meantime. Exactly. Right. So started teaching. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool, right? I'm working 10 hours, banging nails, and now I'm working 3 hours every night of the week and on weekends, right? Teaching, but I'm back in the golf gig. And then I was approached by Golf Tech, who was opening up a number of franchises in the prairies. So I went and interviewed for the Golf Tech position to open one in Edmonton. It was the flagship store, right? So they offered me the center management and director of instruction position indoors in Edmonton year round. I'm in. Like the tool belt is now, it's gone, right? It's put away. I'm dialed in. I have a year round gig in golf, right? So it was pretty sick. Great facility. So we spent 6 years in Spruce Grove, which it was fantastic time. And then as we involved Max in the story, we ended up moving back out west here.
Okay.
And then, so from that point, from Golf Tech, I'm like, oh, well, we got to move out west. And this will all come full circle when we start chatting about Max here. But I took a job at Eagle Quest in Coquitlam as the general manager and the director of golf, right? To get the family back out to the beautiful, weather and BC, right? So Yeah, I did that for 9 years, traveling from Chilliwack to Coquitlam, hour and a half each way every day. So, I'm very patient, as you're going to find out. And then the opportunity at Ledge came up, right? They were posted for a job. I put my resume in, I interviewed, and was fortunate enough that they liked me and picked me. And here we are 3 years later, happy as a lark, right? Super cool. So it's been a pretty awesome journey. And then when we get the kids involved, it's even better,
So that's a perfect segue into Max. And I'll say this, I said it before, Maxim McKenzie. That rocks.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
That rocks. It's like Maverick McNeil.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a sick golf name. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I really love that. No pressure. Yeah, right. Yeah. No pressure. And I'm sure, mom and dad weren't thinking that. And I know you have 2 older siblings. Okay. Do they golf?
Yeah.
They do?
Well, the daughter, Madison's our oldest. She's 25.
Yeah.
Tried to introduce her to the golf, but she was a cheerleader, right?
Yeah.
And then Mason, his older brother, he loves to golf too. Just not at this as serious as Max and I do, right?
So Max, excuse me, when you're 18 years old now, right?
17.
17. You're still 17. Been identified by Team Canada.
Yep.
You're a player. I've read everything about you. I've read is that you're a player. Okay. Yep. When did Dad put the golf club in your hand? When was the first time he put the golf club in your hand?
I was like 2.5. He cut down, an iron, and then I went to the range with him a few times. And yeah, I just went to the range, hit balls, and then my mom took me out when he was working, and I just kept going from there.
So it was something, and I'll bring this up because, having had kids and put golf clubs and hockey sticks in their hands, there can be somewhat of a tendency to try to live vicariously through your child, meaning that, but the one thing, and it's like that with any sport, but golf especially because you're doing it by yourself. And if you're not motivated to do it, you're not going to do it.
No.
You're just
Definitely.
you're just not. So that moment of getting, I guess this question is more directed to you, Luke, in that because you were involved with golf for as long as you have, you grew up in that type of scenario. When did you kind of go, okay, and you have 3 kids, so it's spread out and stuff. And what you're doing is, with being a dad, you're trying to expose your children to as much as you possibly can, because you don't know what they're going to gravitate to. You really don't.
No, absolutely.
You don't. And the job as a parent is to, let's try this, let's try that.
Yeah.
At what age did you, I don't want to, I am interrupting myself when I say this, but there comes a time where you go, okay, he's got some jam or she's got some jam. We're going to throw a little bit more at this. We're going to throw a little bit more at this. And it's kind of like, you're walking this, it's a balancing, you're walking a wire.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely. You're not pushing.
That's right.
You're just rolling with the punches, right? And seeing if anything sticks, really, if they really dig it or not, right?
That's right. So at what age were you thinking when you're watching Max and saying, okay, maybe he's got, there's something there. And then the next stage is you go, okay, well, I'm going to start putting him in tournaments or start playing tournament play, because tournament play is, it's a different animal than walking around with your buddies.
Yeah, sure. Really junior night, right?
Yeah. So when was that, Luke?
Well, there was a few different stages, I would say.
Talk about those.
One was probably, at birth. He was born on Thursday of the Masters, right? So, that was pretty cool. His mom with the cool name, Maxim.
Yeah.
2.5, giving him the first club, hitting balls, in his pull up, but with his golf polo on, And then, say Lori taking Madison and Mason to the school bus and Max wanting to come home immediately, grab his putting mat, his putter, and watch the Golf Channel and the greatest game ever played over and over and over again. He didn't want to watch cartoons. He wanted to watch the Golf Channel. He wanted to watch tournament golf. He wanted to watch golf movies. He got right into the swing. He'd say some crazy stuff for a little 3-year-old kid, like, "Oh, Mom, look at this. Look at his swing. Look at how he's holding, and no wonder he can't hit it,"
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that's pretty wild. You don't want to watch cartoons, man? Like, I love cartoons. He wants to watch a Golf Channel, right? And then it was kind of cool. I gave him a little interview at 3, right? It was his birthday, right? So I had the phone, taping him and interviewing him. He's fully decked out in his golf gear. He's got the polo shirt on, right? The pants, the putter, and I'm interviewing him. Hey, Max, happy birthday. What do you want to do when you grow up? And he's like, I want to play on the PGA Tour. And I'm like, wow, dude, you're 3 and you've got this mindset already? That's wild. Well, and, everywhere I went, he went when I was around. Golf course. It was him and I, you know what I mean? Always wanted to hit balls, chip, putt. I guess he was 6 years old. He qualified for the U.S. No, what is it, Mackie?
Yeah, the U.S. Junior World Championship.
Is that down in San Diego?
It is, yeah.
Pinehurst.
Yeah, that was
Pinehurst.
my second event I ever played, and I qualified for that, which is pretty cool. So
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was 6.
6.
Yeah.
So Dad goes down?
Yeah.
You guys go down?
So we went down. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that was kind of like the time where I could see that he loved competing. He loved the game, like straight up a lover of the game. And that is the biggest part of being successful is loving what you do. It's like when you're told to work at something, right? It's not really work if you love it.
That's right.
So
That's right.
I came home from Golf Tech, so he was 6 at the time. We'd done this tournament. We played some local stuff, right? And I was at Golf Tech. And I came home one day and said, Lori, we got to move out west, right? Beautiful house, probably my wife's dream house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just a beautiful place, Spruce Grove. I said, yeah, we got to go, right? I don't know. She must think I'm nuts, but she's kind of half nuts too, because she's like, yeah, I think you're right? It'll be a better opportunity for Madison, Mason, and Max, especially Max, right? Because he needs to play year round. This is what he loves. This is what he does, right? So we sold the house and everything in it and moved back out west here when he was 7 and, continued to play the tournaments. But you could see the love and the passion for the game. And, it might sound crazy, but I'm his dad, right? But you can see the factor. It's a real thing.
It is.
It's a real thing.
It is.
So you can tell the difference between, players.
That's right.
And with the greasy mitts that this kid has around the greens, the putting.
What are you at? You're +6?
Yeah, I'm plus 5.3. So
I say +6.
Yeah, that's round up. Unless you're in a money game. If you're in a money game, I told him, you don't go out start with I'm a +6. You're like, that's scratch-ish. Yeah.
Yep.
So we found out early that he really had the passion and love for the game, to answer your question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's so, and when that, like, it's golf is like one of the issues, one of the things that I always talk about is accessibility, because you have to have facilities accessible. And what's happening and I just say golf, but in sport in general is that it's more and more difficult to get that accessibility. But Ledgeview has a storied history in producing very good players. And it is like, so when you came out here, was it a conscious effort to go to Ledgeview, or was it like, I know you were driving back and forth to Coquitlam, or what were you looking, because you had that in the back of your mind. Okay. I've got Max here. We have to have accessibility to a golf course. You know, and you can't be driving, you know, my son played hockey at the North Shore Winter Club living in New Westminster, like when he was 13 years old. I couldn't make that drive now. It's insane. It was insanity.
Yeah.
You know, you follow that until you can't follow that.
Mm-hmm.
But the big thing about sports, especially golf, is accessibility for junior players.
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
And so when you came out, like talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, we moved to Chilliwack when we came, and, you know, with me being the GM director golf at a facility, you know, in the Lower Mainland, I got to meet a lot of the guys quickly. And being in Chilliwack, right, the community really welcomed us with open arms. Like, it was unbelievable, right? Chilliwack Golf Club, we joined, right? I got him a membership there, him and his brother. So he started playing out of the Chilliwack Golf Club because Mom could get him there after school, drop him off. You know, Royalwood, my dad, he's actually out west here. He's been a member at Royalwood Golf Club for 30 years. So we had accessibility there, Sheehan Mountain, Cultus Lake. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody, but that community just welcomed Max and me with so much love and open arms. It was pretty wild. You know, I'd call and make tea times. Oh yeah, you and Max can come out anytime you want. Wait, 10 o'clock Saturday? 10 o'clock Saturday? Are you serious? Right? So
Pretty nice,
right? It's not like, hey, 4 PM. You know, so, you know, it was accessible. That was part of, you know, one of the benefits about being a PGA pro too, is being able to have some of those perks in getting my son places to play, range balls, the things that all add up for somebody who's not in the industry, I would say. But yeah, he played and practices every day. And thanks to that community for, you know, standing behind, you know, my family when we arrived to town. So I try to do the same thing at all the facilities I've worked at, right? That's very important, are the juniors and the accessibility. So figuring out those times to get the juniors onto the golf course. You can only hit so many golf balls, right?
Yeah.
And get so good. You got to play. So that's the biggest thing I try to, you know, do at any club that I've been involved with is juniors, promoting the game, getting them onto the golf course so they can learn to love the game, fall in love with the game, right? So yeah, that's kind of the story there.
Maxim, how did you do? How did you do when you went down to, was it Pinehurst? You said? Or, Pinehurst. How did you do?
I don't really remember, but it was like
Dad probably does.
like 42nd Olympic. I'll say like 42nd.
Dad does.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. It was super cool, actually. Yeah, I don't know what spot he came in, to be honest, but I was just...
Were you on the bag?
Yeah, I was caddy. I didn't get fired by then. Yeah, right. I took a few more years, and it's like, Dad, you know, you got to go, bud. You're just... It's not working out here. So maybe I can get back on it in the future, right? I don't know, but we'll see.
That sort of brings us into you've played a lot of junior golf. You've had the information here says you had 67 first place finishes in junior and amateur events.
Yep.
That's pretty impressive.
It's pretty good, yeah.
It is pretty you know, is that something that just came? Did you have to learn to win, or did it just come?
I mean, I think like the more you put yourself into like, you know, contention and like, you know, like you have the lead and stuff like that, like I think you just kind of embrace the pressure and like the spotlight, and then you just like get the job done.
Do you, when you're playing in these tournaments, and you've had quite a few wins as I went through, what are you thinking about? Like, because I'm imagining you're 12, 13 years old, 14 years old. I know what I've said this before. The first golf tournament I played in when I was 14 years old, And I have no problem saying I shit the bed because it was the first time that I was playing without my friends, and I had 30 or 40 other parents around me, and I could feel the vibe that they were hoping that I would shank one. Or a poor shot. It was like they were going to a NASCAR race waiting for a car accident. And I obliged. And you can't, you can't lose your, you hit a bad shot. You got to regroup. And I don't blame my father at all. I don't. Like, I really don't. It's just because he didn't start golfing till he was older. I happened to have a penchant for it, and I could play it, but that doesn't, just because you're good with your buddies, it don't mean that and being exposed to, and I didn't realize how much it affected me, going, Jesus, like all these people around here, you don't want me to do well. I can feel it.
Yeah, you can feel that vibe, right?
So the question I ask you is that, that, and not to say that people, like everyone that I've had through this studio and who's been golf makes wonderful human beings. And I mean that. And my wife will attest to that, and saying that everyone that comes through, and especially the young people, and I don't know, I know what it is, because it is kind of like the last bastion of civility. There's rules. You call penalties on yourself. If you're cheating, you will get caught. There's no question about it. Like, who you cheating?
Right.
And you have to have the jam. Like you do. It's a purest form of a meritocracy that's going. But that leads to the question for you, Max, is that, you're 12, 13 years old. What are your thoughts? Like, when you're playing and are you just focused? Are you like a goldfish that you can just think about, your mind is just focused on this and you're oblivious to everything else that's happening around you? Or do you just allow it to all soak in? And I'm always interested in asking this question, because people deal with things differently. And
I try to be a goldfish for sure, but I think it can be tough sometimes, like a bunch of people around you, and they're rooting for their kid, and might not want you to make this putt or whatever. But I mean, I think you just got to just focus on your game and kind of just try and block out everything, and that's pretty much what I try to do. With tournament golf, and I know I talk about hockey and preparation and how important it is. Like, you got to get your game face on. For you with tournament play, do you have to be in a different mindset, or are you just always in that mindset even when you're practicing? I feel like I'm always in that mindset. Like, if I'm just playing at ledge, like money games or whatever, it's just like a different mode I feel like I get in, especially in tournaments. Like, it's just like a switch. They switching on and off, and yeah, it's like completely different, like focus wise, and every shot's just like fully focused and stuff like that.
Do you have a, like, I know you have your dad's listed as a coach.
Yeah.
You have a mental coach, somebody that helps with that aspect of the game, because God knows it is an unforgiving game.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
It is. It's just, there's a few things in life. Golf happens to be one of them, where you can do everything just perfectly and it still doesn't go in.
Yeah.
It just does.
It's an emotional roller coaster. Yeah. Like, it's a wild 4 hours out there, right? It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And excuse me. And now you've been obviously that the process of being identified by Golf Canada. How does that work? Talk a little bit about that.
It's just throughout the season, and playing pretty good season, and then you get invited to this NextGen camp in Ontario, and then you play like 2 rounds there, and you go through like chipping, putting, hitting balls, like stuff like that, and they assess everything.
Do they have somebody standing behind you with a clipboard?
Like, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, really? Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
The combine.
Really?
It's combine.
It's like the NFL combine or baseball. Yeah, there's
So no pressure.
yeah, right. Yeah, like oh, you missed that putt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, really not gonna make it. No. You're right. Yeah, that's pretty.
So it's pretty intense.
It's pretty intense, yeah. And then you play, I think, 2 or 3 rounds. And then if you win it outright, then you're automatically on the team. And then I guess from there, they just pick, who, like, it's not just, like just at the, like combine or anything, but it's like throughout the season as well.
Mhm.
So if you don't play well there, like, you still have a decent opportunity, get on the team, like if you have a good season.
It's kind of like your portfolio for
Yeah.
the season or 2 seasons, right? In
Yeah.
big events,
Yeah.
the BC or the Golf
So
Canada events.
Does golf, based on this, does Golf Canada provide you funding? Do they, like, what does that entail to be NextGen? Like, what does that entail? Like, what do you, like, they take you under their wing. There's avenues that others wouldn't have. They're sort of mapping it out, and are there monetary things that they provide for you?
Yeah, like there's like training camps that we go to, and they cover like the flights and
Mhm.
like hotels and stuff like that. And then you go to a few tournaments that they cover as well, which is nice. And then they have a sponsorship with Titleist, so you get all free Titleist clubs, which is pretty sweet.
Cool.
You get clothing, Puma clothing, exactly, yeah.
Right on.
Right, and yeah, no more buy clubs.
That helps, Dad.
Yeah, and then you get Puma clothing with all the cool stuff on it, like
Mhm.
sponsor stuff like that, and yeah, and then there's this thing that that you can get fundings as well,
Mhm.
which is great opportunity for people, and yeah, it's honestly like pretty crazy.
Is there?
they
Do they
do.
take into account the educate? Is there an educational component? They're monitoring your grades and making sure that you're still doing well in school, or
No, not really.
not really?
Mostly golf, which is nice.
Mostly golf.
Mostly golf. Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, it's a pretty good resource, right? They're there to help.
They're there to help and bring you.
There's
along.
coaches, right, to bring you along. Exactly,
Mhm.
right? So great support. It's a great program.
Mhm.
So with a lot of great coaches involved,
Mhm.
right? So, when he goes down to the Legacy Club in Phoenix, like he is, I think, in a week or two
Mhm.
to meet up with Team Canada, and they're doing a little qualifier to go, who's going to go to Japan, who's going to go to the next tournament in, where is it, England?
Yeah, England,
Right.
yeah.
So there's a couple of qualifiers amongst the team, right? They're there to support, help you with your swing if you need, right? Or if you have a coach or, anything you need, the mental,
Mhm.
the benefits to get into bigger tournaments with bigger fields, more elite. So there's some leverage there on being on the team, right? And it can go on, once you pass your junior, right? Then you'll be on the men's
Uh-huh.
team, which a lot of the guys, in Canada have been. Corey Connors, Chris, you had him on here. He's a member of the team. AJ's a member of the team. So it was one of Max's big goals, right?
Mhm.
He's a goal setter.
Yeah.
That was one, hey, I want to play on a team.
Mhm.
Well, let's do BC or
Yeah, it
or
was
that team.
part of Team BC for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then this year got into Team Canada.
On
which
to
was
Team Canada, which is
pretty
the big
awesome, yeah.
next level up, right?
Yeah.
So there's some perks that come along with it, which is well deserved.
Yeah.
Because you work your
So-
butt off to get there.
So you go down to Phoenix in the next week or so, and that you're setting the stage for, there's some international play that's coming up. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Team
Have you played internationally? You played down in the States, I
Yeah, yeah.
imagine. But have you played over in Europe yet? Or
Yeah, I've been to Scotland actually, like I think 3 or 4 years ago, and then just got back from Dubai like a month ago.
really?
which was pretty
lucky
crazy.
You're not there now.
Yeah, got out of there in the nick of time, but hey, what a great place while you were there.
Yeah, it was special, yeah.
Yeah. How long were you there for?
Like 5 days.
5 days.
Yeah, it was-
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, tell them about it, man.
Talk about it.
JPT tour.
Yeah, I went down with the JPT tour. We played Trump National under the lights,
Mhm.
which was awesome.
in the dark, man.
Yeah, it was pretty
Wow.
sweet. And then, like we went and Rory was there at the time.
Really?
Like Shane Lowry and all the DP World Tour boys. So we went watched them play their final round before the it was like a pro-am, I think they played, which was cool. And then I played the Fallow course at Emirates, and then the final round after you make the cut, it's Magulus. So like the day we played the day before that, they played the practice round.
The Dubai Desert Classic.
So you got to play the course,
Exact
with
course,
the pin placements. The same.
Yeah, everything, grass,
Very cool.
rough, growing like 2 feet. Greens pretty fast, and it was just like experience was so awesome. 17 going to Dubai is honestly pretty crazy. So
That is pretty cool.
yeah,
That's very cool.
yeah.
That's very cool. So that was, how did you do there? Was it it was a
It
tournament
was a
they were
tournament.
playing?
Yeah, I came 8th.
8th?
Not mad, but yeah, I mean, I was just grateful to play Magellus the day before.
Yeah,
They
very
played,
cool.
which is pretty
Very
awesome. Yeah.
Very cool. So I want to talk a little bit about, the father-son coach thing here. And drawing the line, how do you, and I have no better way to say this, how do you separate dad from the swing coach? Because I've had I don't know if it's I've played some golf courses where there's been a father walking along on the cart path talking to his 16-year-old son in an earpiece while we've been playing. It took me 2 holes to figure out what was going on, because I was wondering why this guy was walking beside us. So are you here to get me? Exactly. And he was talking to his son.
Yeah.
And I know I wouldn't have liked that very much. And I knew by the time we finished the 9th hole, he had to go home and do his homework. But he was a good player.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. And I could tell that he wasn't happy.
He was kind of being forced to be able to play 9 holes before
he went
2 hours of homework.
Exactly. And it kind of made me feel bad. I shook his hand after, and I was playing with a friend of mine, and we were both like, geez, like that kind of defeats the purpose of why we're out there. Because he had a little earpiece in there, and his dad was like talking to him on a walkie-talkie, telling him, I'm sure not telling him that we was hitting the ball well.
Yeah, or to swing like you. Just swing like that guy.
But I'd never seen that before.
It's pretty serious business, this junior golf stuff, man. It's pretty wild, the stuff that goes on.
Yeah.
But we take a different approach.
Okay,
right?
Explain that.
How can I explain? Max and I, both deep lovers of the game. Every minute we can, we're together, from when he was that kid in his pull-up to now. We go out and play 36 holes together. We're practicing, we're playing, we're pushing each other, right? The kid inspires me to continue to, live my dream. You know what I mean? So always a dream, even at my age, but the kid inspires me, and, I haven't beat him in years now, right? So like, I'm working hard to just not lose as much money as I have been lately. But, the way that we roll is we hung out a lot together, and we played a lot together, and there was no pressure there at all, right? There's no pressure from me to him. I'm his dad. I'm just hanging out with the kid who likes to play golf. So it was more of we were buddies, right?
The way you're explaining it to me, that when you play with Max, it's enjoyable. Right, Max?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
As he's putting 20s in his pocket.
Exactly. If I need some pin money, I did play dad.
Yeah.
But it's the thing is that that's at the end of the day, you're his dad.
Yeah.
Okay. And you want the best for him, but that there's talent there. There's obviously talent, and there's the fine line of when to back off, when to push a little bit. And Max, you don't have to answer this here, but I know I do know, because we all know that, opinions and advice of what I'm doing wrong are not necessarily always taken in the best light.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When I hit a poor shot, I don't need to, like I always use this as an example. Not that I was an avid club thrower.
Yeah.
When I would hit a poor shot, but sometimes the club would mysteriously slip out of my hands. And in this one occasion, it did helicopter to the left, and my father happened to be standing on the apron of the green.
Oh.
And I'd never seen, I thought he had a bad hip. He can run pretty fast.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And what I was doing was, and I barely had gotten the words out that, it's kind of damp. And the grip was a little wet.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. No, not you.
Threw your club.
Yeah.
You just happened to let it go in the follow through. And you never do that. Don't ever do that again.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever do that again. And I learned my lesson. It's not like I said, I wasn't a club thrower, but you just get to, and the one thing I'll say about him is, because he started so late he didn't give me advice about the game of golf. He certainly had no problem giving me advice about hockey, but golf, he didn't. He got the majority of his information from Golf Digest, reading golf magazines. He was always trying to get better that way.
Yeah.
But I was fortunate in that I was able to, I learned the game on a very authentic and natural way. And I look back on it and think to myself, what could have happened had I grew up in Manitoba too.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
that's a short
season. Yeah, it's a very, very short season. And even the season isn't real nice either, because you got mosquitoes that you're dealing with all the time.
Yeah.
And I was still playing ball. I was doing all those kinds of things, but I've always loved the game of golf. And that is one of the reasons I moved out here in 1994. Like, I was one of those guys with super value bags at Swanee Set, playing in December and January in a gale force wind, rain pelting against me.
Just getting after it.
Just getting after it, going, you're just insane. What are you doing? And now it's got to be a certain temperature.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No. But it is a wonderful place. But I digress here. We were talking about the father son and the coach and that dynamic, and you're going to get to a point. Obviously, you're going away to school in the new year.
In August.
In August, you're going to Ohio.
Yeah, University of Toledo.
Yeah, and that's going to be your going to university is a little bit of a different thing. You got. The golf team has 5 guys on it? 6 guys?
It's like 9 now.
Nine, but only
5 travel.
5 travel
To go to tournaments, yeah.
And so you got to play well in order to play.
Yep.
And that's kind of sort of where you cut your teeth, right? To see whether or not you got the jam, because you're going to be playing against, the creme de la creme of golf is huge in the U.S. It's, there's players that you've never, ever heard of that got jammed.
Oh, yeah. They can shoot 63 on any given day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And we had Bryn Perry in here the week before, and he was talking about, because he played at a high level, and he was talking about the mental part of the game and how when he'd show up for a tournament, there's Group A, Group B, Group C. Group A are those guys that have a good chance of winning all the time. Group B are kind of they're in the money, but they don't win. And then Group C are just sort of living in their cars. And he said, you have to make the distinction as to what group are you in. And what group do you want to be in? And if you want to be in that group, you've got to do certain things.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to do certain things. And sometimes the talent's just not there or whatever it is. And so you bring into, Max, this is just a long way of getting around. You've won a lot.
Yeah.
Okay? And the path that you've taken, and I'm sure your father had something to do with this, you've got to you to a large extent you have to prepare to win. Like you've got to prepare, and you win at different levels, but it's a preparation thing where you've got to be in the right mindset to win, to understand what it's like to win, so that it's not like it's surreal. Like you go, I can't believe that I'm here doing this. No, and I want to ask you this: what kind of player are you when you're on the course? Are you I don't want to put words in your mouth, but are you aggressive? Are you calm, cool, and collected? Are you an intense guy? Or
I mean, I've definitely worked on not getting as mad on the course recently, but I mean, I'd say like I definitely have a little fire. If it's like a bit of both, like a little fire, and also trying to stay calm and just like continue to play the next hole, next shot. But there's definitely a little fire in there for sure.
So do you when you're teeing it up, when you're putting the ball up and you're playing whatever tournament it is, and I'm not talking about practice rounds, but when you're playing in a tournament, do you have a plan?
Yeah.
As to how you're going to attack that golf course, like you map that out and you try and, are you that type of player?
Yeah, for sure. I when I'm playing a practice round and like I map out the course, like going through the holes, make a yardage book.
Makes his own yard
Yeah,
book.
make my own yardage books, I guess. Yeah.
He's got a suitcase full of them for every course he's played.
And then I just, when I'm at the tournament, I just stick to the game plan. I don't really ever change it. So yeah.
What would you consider to be the strength of your game? What is the strength? What's something that you can always go back to that is there for you?
Definitely my short game and pitching for sure, and putting. Since I'm not the biggest guy, like got to have good wedge game, chipping, putting, and it's definitely really good. So I'd say for sure.
You spent a lot of time on it.
Lots of time. Yeah.
Lots of time on it.
Jesus, we have a putting mat in our kitchen. We don't have a kitchen table.
Yeah.
His poor mom. Jeez. Yeah, there's a putting mat in there. Hey, Max?
Yeah.
No kitchen table, but there's a putting mat.
There's a putting mat, yeah.
Always got a putter.
Always got a putter.
Always.
Yeah.
And it is the thing is you're 17 years old, and in order to play, like, golf is a game, it really is a game of concentration. You have to be able to hone in on whatever that is at that moment. And with golf, there's so many things that can go wrong at any given moment. Like, there's just so many things.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many moving parts. There's so, like, it's not like you're hitting a tennis ball with a tennis racket. There's so many things that can go wrong. And I'm in awe of a young individual who's able to put it all together and do it consistently.
Yeah.
And that was always my issue was always like, I hated to practice. Absolutely hated practicing. Love to play.
Yeah.
I still am like that.
Mm-hmm.
I get bored at the range. Even going to sim golf and hitting the golf ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But and it's always been my Achilles heel is that I can't get motivated. I get bored. I just want to play. I just want to play.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to say, the amount of practice that you put in, what type of practice, what time of practice are you putting in on a daily basis?
I'd say at least like 6 hours a day.
6 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's just, just kind of loving the process of, loving to practice and trying to get better every day.
Mm-hmm.
And like just being disciplined with it is probably the biggest thing.
And you've seen the progression, I'm sure that you've seen Luke with his game.
Mm-hmm.
And the mental aspect of it,
Oh, yeah.
because he's growing.
Oh yeah, we've gone through the peaks and valleys. With that part of the game, right? Max has been playing tournament golf on his own since he's 11, right? I got him going 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I was doing the caddy thing, saw the coaches, saw the dads out there with the earpieces, the walkie-talkies, the kicking the ball into the fairway, the whole nine. And I'm like, yeah, hey, Laura, I can't come out anymore, right?
Mhm.
That's my wife. You'll have to bring him. He has to learn on his own how to assess the lie, what shot did, how to get his own yardages, how to tee his own ball up. Geez, half these coaches are teeing it up for them still. It's like, okay, now you just swing like a robot, right?
Uh-huh.
You need to learn how to play, kid. You're on your own. Mom drops you off, you go play the tournament on your own. That's how he developed to be the player he is by 17 years old with 67 wins. And some big wins in that portfolio as well. Not just little junior events, right? Where there's some big events in there too. So with me playing, being his dad / coach, you know, I'm the dad all the time because I have the experience. I've been there, done that. I've been in the golf business as a PGA pro for 37 years now. I've been playing the game for close to 50. I've competed at a high level. I've chased tours, mini tours. I've played VGT, Great Lakes Tour. I know the Yellow Brick Road, right? The Wizard of Oz. And I know the other road that you don't want to take. Okay. So I provide the actual hands-on experience from a guy who's a journeyman of what it takes to get there, how, if this is what you want to do, these are the steps that need to be taken. This is how you're going to give yourself the opportunity to get there. So I'm not guessing at it. I'm not reading it out of a book. It comes from experience. He listens when it comes to golf, right?
Like,
I was just joking. He listens all the time. He's a good kid. So, you know, obviously the learning how to collect your emotions, how to move on, those type of things. Of course, there was highs and lows between us. But at the end of the day, right, he has matured like a 35-year-old tour player. That's where his brain is at the moment. He's 17, but he's a 35-year-old journeyman on tour mentally, right? He's seen it. We've been playing golf together forever with other pros, other buddies of mine, money games since he was 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, from the tips at every course we play. Learned how to hit driver, 3-wood, hybrid, wedge, and putt. Where these boys are hitting, driver, iron, putt, right? We're coming out with the same score at the end.
Yeah.
That's how he learned to be as good as he is. There was no, we play from the 150s. We're playing the forward tees. No. You want to play? We're playing from the tips. We're playing for money. And here we go, right? So he learned how to hit the ball far, how to hit those long clubs, how to pitch and putt. And I think that played a big part in, where he is today, right? It was like, if you want to play, kid, this is where we're playing with my buddies who are pros or great amateurs. And we're, we got some money on the line, so you better pull.
We're not going to let up on you.
Yeah, right. And we're not giving we're not taking strokes, right, against the guys. So that was fun for both of us. I think that's what was a big thing to get him to where he is now. Not coddling him and things, right? Go figure out your own yardage. You figure out the lie. What type of shot are you hitting? Is it high, low? Are you curving it left to right, right to left? I can't tell you what to do. You need, as the player, to understand that and understand your swing. This is your swing. You need to be able to fix it when you're in a tournament and I'm not around. You need to understand your swing and how it operates, right? So he just asked me, right, for help when he needs it. We've built the foundation, the fundamentals, dialed in. That's all you need. Go play, go figure it out. Comes to me, hey, can you show me this? Hey, I'm struggling with this. Whatever that might be, slight change. Hey, let's take a look at this. Get it dialed in for him, and then it's like, okay, get back down to the practice hole and start hitting chips and pitches and putts again, So it's not like it's a weekly session or it's every day and we're on the range and we're looking for this and looking for the perfect swing that looks cool on Instagram. And no, man, we're out to play the game and win golf tournaments. That's what he wants to do. Well, this is how we're going to do it.
Sure.
Right. So it's been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Man,
Maxim,
it's been pretty
what's been the biggest win so far?
I'd say probably the NextGen I just won last year. It was at Ledgey actually. I shot 400 in the final round, to win by 3, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I won, some pretty big ones, but I'd say that's probably the biggest one so
That
far.
was the biggest one so far.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what has it been like? When the Team Canada NextGen, you're wearing the maple leaf.
Yeah.
You're playing for Team Canada, and being around. You're obviously in the company of the best juniors in this country now.
Yeah.
Right. And is it surreal for you, or you go, you know what, I belong here?
Yeah, it's definitely I belong here for sure. But it's awesome. Like being with really top high level players and just playing with them, and you can learn from everybody, and having to make birdie, and actually like play a good round of golf to beat them or whatever, and it's like being around them. Just probably it brings out my competitiveness a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And it's awesome. Yeah.
Cool. So and you won the high school. Your high school won the championship too.
Yeah.
That was last year.
Oh yeah, that was last year.
Yeah. And how many excuse my ignorance here on high school golf.
Mm-hmm.
Does every high school have a golf team, or?
Not everyone. Not everyone. That's why we live in Chilliwack, and he goes to Robert Bateman in Abbotsford because they didn't have a program in Chilliwack at the time at Sardis. Okay. So mom commutes him back and forth to Abbotsford, right? So that's just to give him the opportunity to play, on a high school team, a little more practice time. The association with Ledge is pretty cool, right? So they're there Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. They get extra practice time. Mm-hmm. So that was sort of the thought there for him.
Sure. So on the agenda here now is for you're going to Toledo.
Yep.
You're going in August. You're probably going to play, I would imagine, some amateur events over the spring and fall.
Yep.
Or spring. I'm sorry, spring and summer.
Summer, yeah.
Spring and summer. That's the daylight savings.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, it's blowing me away right now.
Blame that.
Yeah.
So do you over the summer and the spring and summer months, do you have any goals that you've set for yourself, or is it just to get primed and ready for your first season of NCAA golf?
Yeah, I definitely some goals I've set for myself. Want to get a couple. Want to win, I guess, every tournament I play in, but there's definitely a couple I want to check off for sure. Like BC Amateur would be nice. And then playing the US Junior Am, US Am. And then I'm going to qualify for the RBC Canadian Open. He's gonna be on the bag.
So do you have to
nice?
How do you get in? That was a question I had. How do you get in? You have to qualify for it?
Yeah, you have to qualify for it. There's 2 sections now. So you go to your local one, qualify for that, then you go to Ontario, and then qualify for that. You're in the tournament.
Oh, you'll get in. You'll qualify.
That'd be nice.
There we go. Well, that's always the mindset.
That's the mindset,
right?
You will.
That's the mindset, man.
You will. Last thing here, while we're wrapping things up, there's some. I'll ask both of you these questions. What's your favorite club?
I'd say 56 degree for me, for sure. I've never had like a law wedge up until like the last year and a half or 2 years. So, just using my 56 degrees kind of open my imagination a little bit more.
That's your go-to?
Yeah, it's my go-to, and I can hit pretty much any shot with that. So
yeah.
No 60 until exactly. I didn't let him have any of the 60-degree lob wedge till he figured out every shot with the 56. Yeah.
Dad, what's your favorite club?
Favorite club? I'm a putting guy. I love putting. Yeah,
You Scotty Cameron guy? Or what?
Well, yeah, Max could attest to this.
Lots of putters that area.
I'm changing. I'm a tinker. I tinker with this, that. I just love all the I'm a gearhead, you know, I love the new stuff and I love testing it out. So yeah, putting's pretty cool. You know, everybody can do putting. It's a fun thing, you know, we can have contests. It's just I like seeing the ball roll in the hole. So that's my favorite club. Yeah.
Okay. Proudest dad moment of this guy?
Well, there's a few, right? I'd have to say when he was 12 years old, we played a pro junior at Chiem Mountain out in Chilliwack. About 20, 30 local pros, including Bryn, right? Bryn's a friend of mine. Yeah. He was playing in this pro junior. The VGT was running it, right? Fraser was out there with doing his thing. So it was super cool, right? The pro junior. So it was Max and I, and then two other juniors, right? So we start playing, we get to, you know, Max is, I think, even par, and I'm playing as well in the pro division. So I'm trying to win, you know, there's a couple bucks there for me to pick up. We make it onto the back nine. Was it 13? I think it was hole 13.
Yeah.
There was a $2,500 hole-in-one prize. Well, this kid jars it. Max jars it, right? Yep. For the $2,500. So we're on 13. He's now at 2 under par, right? I'm lagging behind. I think I was at even, right? Around Chiem. Great little track. We move on to, so then we play 14. I think he birdied 14, parred 15, 16, 17. So we're on the tee on 18. It's about 180 yards, this par 3. Pulls out driver, hits driver to like, I don't know, 8 feet, right? I'm flushing a 5-iron up there. You know what I mean? Missing the green, right? Chip, putt, you know what I mean? So I'm like, wow, I'm just walking down the fairway. And these other two kids right there, like your junior golfers, they don't know what's going on. Like, they don't know what's happening. Like, who's this kid and why is he so good? Like, he just put it in the hole, like all this stuff. You could imagine the different level of thought, right? So the kid's dialed in, hits it like, so we're walking up. Next thing you know, all my buddies are around and some other, you know, all the pros. He ends up jarring this putt, right, to go 4 under. So he actually won the pro division, if you can believe it. He won the pro division. He tied Bryn. Bryn was at 4 under. He was at 4 under at 12 years old. So I was like, because, you know, I've got some history with Bryn. We're friends. We still compete, you know, against each other now. We're both, you know, in the senior division. It was pretty cool because he is a great player, you know, one of the best in BC, if not Canada. And, you know, my 12-year-old just tied you and actually took the win. And on top of that, he got a $2,500 check.
You jarred one.
Yeah, right? Unreal. Like, so that was pretty sick, right?
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, now I'm going to hit you up with for both of you, and I'll start with Max. What's the funniest or craziest thing you've seen on the golf course?
I'd say craziest thing is actually happened to me in a tournament. I was playing University Golf Club in a tournament, and I'm on hole 7, and you know, I tee up my ball, getting ready to hit the shot, and I just like hear a sound. I look over, and my cart with my clubs on it is going down a huge embankment. Like, it's funny. It wasn't funny at the time, but I guess it is now. But yeah, I was like in shock. I was like, wow, like hopefully nothing's just
rolling down.
I was like, hopefully nothing broke. So I hit my shot and then, you know, go see if anything's broken. Thank God it wasn't, because I didn't really want to, you know, have to tell my dad about that. What happened? What happened? And yeah, just the 2 other kids I was playing with just kind of watched it go down the hill.
Didn't do nothing.
I was like,
they probably pushed it.
Yeah, honestly, I was praying. Yeah, let's get in his head.
Yeah, we can't beat this kid here. Let's get rid of his clubs. That's right.
Yeah, that was definitely by far the craziest thing.
That's fair. Dad, Luke.
Well, you know, tons of funny moments. One, like Westview Golf Club, right? It's impacted my life, right? That's where I grew up playing. So my junior buddies, right? We'd go out. and play golf. And, you know, one of our buddies, super hot-headed kid, right? You know what I mean? How you are when you're a kid, firing clubs and doing this. Well, he was a club thrower, right? Classic. He throws this club into a pine tree that's about 100 feet tall, right? Gives it the tomahawk up. It stays up in the tree, and we're howling. We just look at him, and that crocodile tears just come pouring down his face. My dad's gonna kill me, right? And then he has to get the marshal, right, to get his club. That's I don't even know how the marshal got it. It was unreachable. It was so hilarious as kids to be able to laugh at your other buddy who did something so stupid. But he never learned from it, that guy. No, he was a classic. He's a classic breaker, thrower. It's just hilarious stuff. I find that super entertaining when I play golf and people get that agitated and frustrated with golf. It's yeah. So that one's lived with me for, 40 plus years now.
Well, one of the things about doing this, the podcast here is that obviously I do love golf, but over the last number of years, I've seen some things on the golf course that weren't necessarily giving me hope. To put it bluntly, you know, simple things that I thought, you know, I didn't think that you needed to be taught that.
Right.
You know, if somebody leaves their club on the apron of the green, you pick it up, and they'll eventually come back and they'll get it. You know, that's what the decent person does. You don't keep the club.
No. Oh, that's a Vokey? Hey, roll that in the bag. You see that wedge? No, never saw that.
You just don't do that.
No.
You know, and hollering for those kinds of things. And so I appreciate the two of you coming in, and I appreciate everyone that's come through the studio here, because it gives me hope that people, you know, and I look at golf too is that there's no other, there's nothing else in life where you just show up at a golf course and go for a walk with somebody for 4.5 hours that you don't know them. And then you know, you're on the same level, you're talking, you got nature out there. There's, you learn something about somebody else, and you may not see them ever again, but it's cordial, it's diplomatic. It's you call penalties on yourself. It's giving me some hope, and I'm not. You know what I mean? Like I just, because you don't cheat, and if you do cheat, you're going to be found out. If you can't play, that's right. You can't, and if you can't play, you can't play, and that's all right.
Yeah, that's all right too.
It's all right too.
Yeah.
But, listen, I really am. I'm very happy that Luke, Max, that you made the journey here to be on Steve Tees Off, brought to you by riversidegolf.ca, Ken Poirier and the team. I wish you nothing but success. I want you to remember the little guys. When you're at the level at the show, I want you to come back on and talk about it. You're 17 years old. The world is your oyster, and you're very fortunate in that you have a wonderful dad too, who supports you. And I know what I kind of know in the world of sports, how difficult it is. I'm sure that you know how difficult it is. You try and keep your head straight. Everything is a process too.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, it's a process, and golf is the kind of game that the more that you force it, the more difficult it becomes. Sounds like to me, and just looking at your record, that you've been extremely successful, and I wish you nothing but success moving forward. And I thank you both for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Steve, there's a blast, man, hanging out with you for an hour here. We had a great time. Thanks for having us.
And we'll have you guys on again after your first season at Toledo.
Yeah, for sure. I love that, yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you.